He basically attacking their lack of understanding.
Yeah,
of the
basically
depth of the
attacking
movie.
certain parts of the audience for not understanding the movie.
He's basically calling out the superhero movie fans that just go to see like action, boom, explosion, fight. I can see everything. It's beautiful.
I mean, he's not wrong.
No, he's not.
Okay,
No,
good.
he's not.
Good. I was going to come out and say he ain't wrong. I'm going to be honest, but
I needed you to say it first for me to agree with you.
Family.
I saw the like some teaser spot or something of that where they're out in the road and Larson's on the top of a car with like an AR-15 or an AK something, and Momoa looks back at her, says something, and she like flashes her shoes and they're Converses that are like bedazzled the fuck out, and I was like, okay. I was like, I don't know, this might just be a weird fast ending, so might have to see it, even though I haven't seen like fucking like probably 4 through 9. I haven't ever seen. I don't know.
I think I saw through Fast 5. I maybe 6, but I haven't. Nah, like all the Hobbs and Shaws and stuff.
I think I saw like 1, 2,
I actually might have seen 1, 2, and 4.
5,
because I think I skipped
7.
Because
I think
3
'Cause
was,
I think I-
3 was Tokyo Drift.
Yeah,
wasn't it?
that's
that
the
one's
one that-
actually good.
That's
I
what
like
I've
that one.
heard, but
Yeah.
like I will admit, I just didn't watch. It was like it doesn't have Paul Walker, Vin Diesel. I don't care about this, and
I was the same way back then. Yep.
yeah, I was like,
what
why
do
do I care?
Yep.
Yeah,
Well,
like they don't.
true.
It doesn't have them. I don't give a shit about this movie, and
He becomes one of my favorites, though.
that's
Yeah,
what
I know.
I've heard a lot
Sean.
of people say.
Yeah, I've heard. Yeah, I've heard he's like the. I feel like he's the most popular character.
He's-
From most people I talk to, it seems like he's always their favorite.
He's
even
the most realistic character of all of them. I'll say that.
though That's
Okay.
hard to do in that universe.
Yeah, he's a military brat, and he gets in trouble. That's it.
Well, yeah.
Can
Isn't
we
it,
talk about how he joked about like eventually they're gonna end up in space, and then they actually ended up in fucking
Oh,
space?
Yeah, I was told.
I called that
See,
shit the day before it came out. I was like,
Yeah,
I was like, they're gonna shoot. They're gonna fly into space. Watch. I was like, they'll probably do some stupid shit like that.
yeah.
Travis went and saw it. He goes, I was like, he looks at me and he doesn't say anything. I go, they went to fucking space.
I was
didn't
gonna say,
And he
don't
goes,
they-
They did.
Don't
I
they?
was like, "Ah,
Don't they drop Ludacris in the car, like in orbit?
Yeah, oh,
like
yeah.
It flies that. Yeah,
and they're
something like-
floating out there, and somehow like the vacuum of space doesn't rip them apart. You know, I mean, that's because every car is airtight. You know.
What's
It was-
up, everybody? Welcome to Tardy the Park.
Yeah, what's up, everybody? Welcome to episode 36 of Tardy to the Party, aka T3P, the weekly podcast centered around news and reviews of that holy, holy trinity of pop culture, Marvel, DC, and Star Wars. I'm your boy, J-Sib, and to my left, as
KP is
always,
here.
oh my God, cut off. You ready, Bull? And to my right, the bull.
It's the bull. It's the bull. Just in case you're wondering, it's the bull.
How are you boys this week? I am a very, very sleepy boy, but the flooring is finally getting put in
Hell
the
yeah.
house, so
So you kind of got the endorphins a little jacked up. You don't
a
seem
little
too
bit,
sleepy.
we can finally
I can see
see
a
the
cat-
light.
I
Oh,
can see I see a drink of caffeinated beverage and a backup caffeinated beverage here. So this dude's ready. He's
And,
ready to just inject it into his veins.
Yes, we got a
He's
little
ready to
Dunkin'.
go.
Free plug, Dunkin' here.
Free plug.
Free plug. I have core
Got my-
hydration because I forgot my Hydro Flask water bottle, which is also, I guess, a free plug. Whatever.
And
Got my
the drinkless
my
bull
energy
today.
drink, and then
Bull's gonna dehydrate himself.
Got
That's true.
got my water to
keeping himself
kind
light.
of dilute
Yeah.
the process because I'll have an anxiety attack
into
if
the
I just
summer.
keep going caffeine.
Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, I don't even know how you could do that. I hope you don't do that back to back because I definitely can't. But
We'll see how I'm feeling after that.
Yeah.
Little donkey.
Dude, after all the pre-workout in my life, I feel like I can just shovel caffeine down and it doesn't even affect me anymore. It just makes my heart beat faster. I'm just
yeah,
tired.
that's not
It just makes me feel a little bit more alive.
Yeah.
Honestly, man, speaking of that, I got to be the same way, and that's actually why I very strictly watch the milligram count of my caffeine, because if I don't, I basically have insomnia and cannot fall asleep until 1 or 2 in the morning. So, if you're like me, you might want to look at that and think, oh, that's why I can't sleep until past midnight, is because injected Jesus. I consumed.
Whoa!
Just took a dark turn. Dark
Very
turn.
dark turn. But
It's
yeah,
cool.
you probably
We'll edit that part out.
probably
Yeah.
consuming. No, you won't. More than 500 milligrams of caffeine a day. But anyways.
Oh, woo.
Well-
Five honeys?
Well, yeah, because I was having an energy drink in the morning, and I was, like, not paying attention really to the fact that, like, hey, dipshit, it's 300 in the morning, and then you go take pre-workout. And
At
if
least
I was-
250.
KP's just at
Well,
work.
and if I was full scooping it, that's like another. That's
Are you okay?
another
What do you mean?
300 something. So yeah, it's like way over.
Oh, dude, I remember I used to take this one pre-workout, and I can't remember the name of it. It was like Dark Rage or something like that. And of course, you know, because I mean, the scarier it sounds, the better it's
Yeah.
got to work, right? You know,
Right.
Rage.
dude, I think I could like see sounds when I was driving over the bridge to the gym, man. I was like driving, and like the sky was blue, and like the grass was like ultra lime green.
This is why even when I
holy
did
crap,
work
man.
out, never did pre-workout just because of all the horror stories I've heard. I was like, no, I'm good.
Well,
I'll
like
stick
I
with the
said,
protein
It's like
and-
It's
well,
pros and cons.
right. But
It's-
again, like we're saying though, when you don't really monitor the other caffeine sources that you've taken in the day, and then like you take a pre-workout like this, it just all builds on top of each other, and that's like why you'll like shake or like he said you see sounds as you put it in the sky.
smell colors.
I'm assuming the sky is extra blue, not because the sky. You said the
Oh.
sky was blue, and I wasn't going to attack you for that.
Like-
but,
like-
no,
no, like-
like, well, shit. I hope it
It's
was
not
blue.
just-
What-
it's not-
what is it normally for
It's
you?
not just
Bull?
blue. It's blue. Like, that's what I mean.
It's not just blue. It's like
Blue.
bright blue.
It's blue.
Saturated AF.
saturated.
The emphasis on blue. That's
Yeah.
all I got.
All right, well, let's get into the Holy Trinity news. Starting off with DC. All right, so I'm gonna throw some things at you. We'll start off with
Okay.
the new Godfather, Mr. Gunn here.
So when you-
No technical tweet segment here, but still we'll call
Right.
it weekly James Gunn news.
Hey, he's.
Break my
I've
heart.
still been getting this whole writer strike. This guy's bored. I've been getting tweet notifications about him daily. Now, is it anything relevant to DC? Not that I've seen. It's been a lot of reactions to Guardian stuff. But I remember one day sitting in my house, I was like, man, we could just have the tweet segment be about how this dude's very bored because of the writer's strike.
Well,
True.
I mean, yeah, he
Love
is
you
he is
guys.
talking about
Love you.
Love
he is
all
on
your one-word
tour,
answers.
press tour for Guardian. So, but he's still been doing a little bit of answering for DC stuff. He
I definitely missed it all.
who is this? It was an interview with the Toronto Sun. James Gunn seemingly confirmed Krypto would be appearing in Superman Legacy. Quote from Gunn: "I was hoping I could cast you as Krypto the Superdog," talking to Chris Pratt. "You could do motion capture on set and walk around on your hands and knees, but you can't talk." Pratt: "I'll do Krypto, but you have to pay me in crypto." Gunn: "I'll pay you in crypto, which amounts to $0."
Yes, it does.
Hell yeah.
And
Do
then-
not invest.
And then
fantastic.
Pratt said, "It sounds like there's going to be a character called Krypto in Superman. Breaking news." Interviewer: "That's a scoop for me." Gunn: "It is a scoop, I guess." Pratt: "Way to go. You're fired. Back to Marvel."
That's funny.
That is funny.
That's
so,
Real
Krypto,
quick.
the Superdog, confirmed for Superman Legacy, it seems.
dope.
What do you
Okay.
guys think?
Um,
Also, what were you going to say?
So it relates to this actually. Discussing film just had a tweet 2 minutes ago about actors in the mix for Superman.
Breaking news, everyone. Breaking news.
We need like a sound gimmick for that.
Yeah, yeah. There's a button we can press.
Anyways, no, that's cool. I think Krypto on actual big screen is cool, as long as like it's Krypto. Doesn't need a cape, but I want him flying around, laser beaming stuff. Like I want a dog that's a total badass.
You want him to
it's gotta
talk.
be a
I
good one.
very much.
Ooh.
Does he need to talk?
I wonder when. So in this quote, he says, "But you can't talk." So I wonder if that means that just like you wouldn't be the voice actor, or just wonder if Krypto's not going to talk.
I would hope that. All right, you said he was tweeting with Chris Pratt, right?
That was
Yeah.
in an interview with Chris Pratt, so they were talking in an interview.
You can't talk. Well, I would. So, just like, hey, my brother's getting old. You need to do the motion capture for.
Thank you.
That's kind of how I'm taking this.
Yeah.
No. Well, I want to pose the question: do you feel like Krypto should talk?
I personally think I'd like it better if he didn't. If it was more of like he emoted, and maybe Superman could maybe understand him in certain ways, kind of like a a la Solo with Chewie.
Yeah.
Like no one else understands him, but Han does.
Or Groot.
Yeah, or
Yeah.
Groot.
After the whole Cosmo
I'd be down
thing,
for
this is
something like
interesting. After the whole Cosmo thing within Guardians,
Mhm.
and then bringing that, bringing that to the forefront, and then all of a sudden now he just moves to this, and
I feel like it'd be a little kind of a tad weird if Krypto talked, but I don't know. Maybe not. Gun's pretty good at adapting live action animals into speaking, so I'm sure he'll make it work. But I think I'd prefer him to kind of just be more of like an emoting or like, growl to kind of get some laughs out of certain moments. I don't know.
Also important too. I wonder what kind of breed they would get for Krypto.
to me it just seems like a golden
CGI.
retriever. It's a golden
Full
Right, 'cause
bred.
it's like he kind of looks depicted like he'd be an all white coat Labrador.
Kind of,
But
yeah.
That's
those
what
like
that's what I would think, or a retriever or something like this, something all American type of thing. That's what
should
the
make him a Great Pyrenees.
yeah
Giant fluffy
big, huge.
Kryptonian dog.
big goofy dog.
Kids will love it.
Oh yeah.
Sell toys. Give me my money now.
Yeah.
Oh, and then also, what was this? In? I watched it on YouTube, so I'm sorry I can't remember what channel this was through. It's the one where it's the
Do
one
it all the time.
Is it Wired?
I'm-
It's the
I'm-
one where they answer
very
like
guilty
the
of this.
finished like
Yeah.
Google searches where they like rip off the ends where it's like, you know what I'm talking about? Have you ever seen those? Where it's like so if it's like James Gunn and Sean Gunn are doing the interview, they'll do like search engines. It'll be like James Gunn is, and then they rip off the end, and it'll have like most searched like Google questions and stuff like
Yeah.
that. But I
Okay.
think it's Wired. I could be wrong. But basically in the interview, he confirmed that Superman Legacy will begin filming in January of 2024.
Well,
We'll see.
That's pending a strike.
Well,
I
see,
would assume.
the WGA strike doesn't really affect
I
because
was
the
gonna say-
script's already been turned
I was
in.
gonna say if the
but
script's already been done, but if it needs edits though, wouldn't it affect it then?
no, it's just that like writers essentially can't come in and like change anything.
Okay.
So they basically it's kind of weird, but it kind of doesn't matter anyway because I'm pretty sure if this strike doesn't get resolved here soon, I've heard that like the actors are going to go on strike in like June or July, I think. So if the actors are on strike, then
We're all boned.
I don't think that January film date will happen either way. So, but the plan, I guess, right now is to start filming in January. So please get this WGA shit fixed
Yeah.
like immediately. Give the writers fair pay. Let's go. They're the ones that bring us all these lovely, lovely stories that we all love. And then last bit of James Gunn news regarding Creature Commandos. Actually, in this one, I kind of just found this morning. So I doubled down on the confirmed that Creature Commandos will be an R-rated show.
Hell yeah.
So let's go.
Hell
Gives
yeah.
me this is the part about James Gunn. I'm like, okay, this is what I'm excited about James Gunn though, because he ain't afraid to get his hands dirty a little bit. And it seems like, well, I mean, he is the head, so I guess ain't nobody can tell him no except for Daddy Zaslav.
Yeah.
Let's see, but speaking to Josh Wilding, I don't know who that is. Sorry. This is actually Sean Gunn. Talking about his dual roles of G.I. Robot and Weasel, saying, quote, I love the project. The scripts are so good. We've already been doing a little recording, which is fun. I can tease that we're going to learn a little bit more about Weasel, which is going to be interesting. And I just love G.I. Robot so much. Next quote, and this is the part that I'm actually really excited about. Quote, G.I. Robot is driven by one thing and one thing only, which is his hatred of Nazis. And his desire to kill as many Nazis as possible. So for me, as somebody who hates fascism in all forms, I can relate to somebody who's wanting to get out there and put a smack down on some zombies. Nazis.
I was just saying zombie Nazis.
I mean, Nazis.
Okay. Wow.
Hell yeah, dude.
So
I'm on board.
I saw that this morning, and I was like, oh, yeah, we're throwing that in the news. G.I. Robot officially taking little hints from Indiana Jones, I guess, just hates Nazis, so we might see him punching some Nazis in the face.
Interesting.
Killing
I'm excited for
Nazis.
this show.
Business is
very, very
booming.
excited. What do you guys think?
Oh, I'm excited. The more I hear about it, the better it gets.
Yeah, the more you kind of give us this news about it, it's like more and more I can see the wackiness the gun's gonna have in it. So I'm pretty excited now and definitely pumped. The mature / R rating, just like the Suicide Squad. It's like, yeah, okay, like I know how this is gonna go.
Yep.
This is probably gonna be awesome. So
Say I am very much on board. Say like, I love Snyder, love his vision, but I'm still very, very excited for Gunn's vision. I think his vision will still be very fun and entertaining, and probably still have a lot of emotional and heart in it. If
Yeah.
Guardians 3 was any indicator, which by the way, a week removed, which I guess we could talk about in the Marvel section. Week removed. I think it's still number one. I think it's my favorite out of the trilogy. I've sat on it for a week, and yeah.
I will say this, man. With sitting on it for a week, I don't think that I've ever had a Guardians movie that I was like, I need to go back and see it again, and I definitely need to on this one. I want to go like this weekend if I can. Like I want to see it again because I really liked it that much. So
very, very good. Yeah, and then there was honestly even a lot of things I was kind of kicking myself at like throughout the week. I was like, oh, we forgot to bring that. Oh, we forgot to bring that up.
Yeah, there was quite a bit.
But anyway, last bit of DC news. I don't know if you guys saw this. Zack Snyder kind of got himself in a little bit of trouble this week, I guess.
Well, I will say for sure I didn't, because I solely rely on you for information on this man.
That's fair.
I am honored. I am honored and very, very privileged. So this was during the Full Circle event. He was asked, well, this film, talking about Batman v Superman: Dawn of Justice. Well, this film in particular, you created so many layers for the storytelling and the characters, and I think you have to want to make an effort to dig a little deeper. Snyder, quote, yes, but I think that probably is what caused the movie to be so polarizing, I think, and maybe I'm wrong, but I feel like a lot of people went into the movies for going like, oh, it's a superhero romp, right? Let's have fun with it. And we gave them this sort of hardcore deconstructionist. Oh my God. Deconstructivist. Oh my God. Thank you.
Yes.
Heavily layered experimental modern mythological superhero movie that you really need to pay attention to, that was not cool for them. That's not something anybody wanted to do. They were like, what? No, that's exhausting. How about why do they fight at night? I hate that. Okay. So of course, Twitter is firing up with people just saying like, no, your movie wasn't that deep. It was just not that good. And people are basically kind of calling him a little arrogant because of that quote. A little self-serving in a way. What do you guys think about it? I mean, do you guys care that much about that quote? Really? Do you think it was really all that bad? Or
can you read it to me one more time?
The whole thing or the very end?
Just the part about
his response, or like what he got in trouble for saying.
What exact part of it that people are pissed about?
Basically, that we gave them this sort of hardcore deconstructionist, heavy layered, experimental, modern, mythological superhero movie that you really need to pay attention to. That was not cool for them. That's not something anybody wanted to do. They were like, what? No, that's exhausting. How about, why did they fight at night? I hate that.
He basically attacking their lack of understanding.
Yeah, basically attacking the certain parts of the audience for not understanding the movie.
He's basically calling out the superhero movie fans that just go to see like action, boom, explosion, fight. I can see everything. It's beautiful.
I mean, he's not wrong.
No, he's not.
Okay, good. He's not. Good. I was gonna come out and say he ain't wrong. I'm gonna be honest, but
I needed you to say it first for me to agree with you.
Thank you.
Like,
no, he's not. He's not at all. We say that on this show every week.
Like I saw. So the number, like one of the tweets that just I so badly wanted to talk about was somebody posted a picture of like, basically like, BVS is so deep or mythological or whatever, and then has a picture of some dude like barely like in this water like drowning, just like Martha, and he's like, yeah, so deep, and I'm like, that's kind of the fucking point though. Like, yeah, I'll be the first
so
to
you're
admit.
making his point, though.
You are 100% making the fucking point.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
I will
But
be
you
the
did-
first to say
you didn't pay
the Martha.
attention to the other parts of the
Yeah,
movie.
like- I'll be the first to say that the Martha moment is a little cheesy, a little corny.
It's a comic book movie. You're gonna have that
Right.
But
by default.
By default.
if that the moment is actually a lot deeper than people give it credit for, and actually, especially the way it's actually sold when Batfleck first hears it, like people are like, "Well, he just stops because he hears the name Martha." It's like, well, if you actually pay attention to his acting, like he stops because he gets more enraged because he's about to go on even harder because like, why did you say that name? Because he's like wondering why the fuck this guy is saying his mom's name.
Yeah.
He's got all the,
mom's
like-
name.
And in case people keep forgetting this, Batman's fucking insane, okay? Like, that's the one thing I love about the Robert Pattinson movies. They finally, like, nailed home that, like, Bruce Wayne's not okay in the head.
Yeah.
Like, he's not okay.
It's not even the fact that in
But
the
it's like-
moment. It's also the whole movie like shows you that he's struggled his whole life on his parents dying, and they keep showing you Snyder kind of beat you over the head with it that specifically his mom was the one he was more hung up about,
Mhm.
and I guess it goes over all your heads. I mean, yeah.
And it's like, and that's why when what actually stops him and calms him down finally is when Lois comes in and she's like, "That's his mother's name."
It's his mom's name, and
And then
he's
it's fine. Then
he's
it's like, oh,
"Oh."
holy shit, I'm the dickhead. Like, yeah, he's an alien, but he has a mother too. Like, he is a son.
It
like,
clicked for him
like-
that he grew up on this planet for 30 years, just like anyone else,
Yes.
Yep.
and he's like maybe about to destroy a family himself.
Yeah, 'cause I don't even know how they couldn't tell the change in his voice and the way that he escalated so quickly
Yeah,
when he
like-
heard the words, when he heard Martha.
yeah,
Like,
like
I don't see how you could
Like,
see
is
it
it a
any other
cheesy
way.
scene? Yeah, but
Sure.
it makes sense when you actually like.
and even the people that are like,
I picked the entire movie.
people are like, well, why wouldn't he just say "save my mom"? And it's like, okay, I get it. Most people would probably say something about their mom, but it's like also he's probably kind of smart enough in saying like, if he just says "save my mom" like right before he dies, that doesn't really give him anything. At least Martha gives him something to go on. At least that's a
Yeah.
name.
True.
Right.
I mean, of all the possibilities that you could take to create that moment, I don't think that's a bad choice what they did. I mean, it made it a little cheesy, sure, but
Like, I'll be the first to admit it's a little cheesy, a little corny, but I still think it works in the end.
yeah.
Also, at that point in the movie, is it apparent that he, as Batman, knows that Clark Kent is Superman? Because my thought is that Superman's perspective is that Batman doesn't know that. So he says, save Martha, because he has to talk like as an individual that's not connected to her.
That's true.
That's
Save
actually
Martha.
Yeah.
that's also very true
And
as
it's
well.
like, again, that's why it makes sense for Lois to run up while he's dying from kryptonite exposure. And she's like, it's his mom's name. Like, Lois kind of sells him out then to Batman.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh. Like, again, takes the step back.
Yeah, he's got
Like,
him
yeah,
on.
Superman knew who Bruce really was the whole time because of his hearing and all that bullshit. And, like, we see that. But we never really see that Batman has figured out that this reporter from Daily Planet.
Mhm.
I paused because I almost said Bugle.
yeah.
I get them confused
Yo,
sometimes.
a lot.
Spider-Man's a menace.
Right.
Menace.
He's a hero. I just couldn't see it.
Damn, Spider-Man.
That's the best of the trilogy, is that. And he steals it back. Just, he's a thief! Back to Superman and this shit. Yeah, I would say I don't think in the movie it's pretty apparent that it's like known that Bruce knows that he is Clark. So it also makes more sense that yeah, Superman who would be thinking like, yeah, he doesn't know who I really am, so I have to say save Martha.
Yeah, and it also humanizes him too. It
Mhm.
humanizes him in that moment for Batman. So I mean, it makes him, instead of just being this all-powerful being that he has to destroy, he has a family, like you said earlier.
And effectively in the end, like this was Batflex kind of was adapted from the Dark Knight Returns. Is why you get that iconic shot with him on the side of the building and the lightning shoots behind him. That's the cover. So it's a darker, more grizzled, broken Batman who's a little
Yeah.
bit more visceral and
it's a
angry and
veteran Batman. Yeah.
who's kind of lost hope in a way. So what I actually really like about this movie is the person that Superman effectively kind of saves in the end is Batman, and brings Batman back to how he was before he lost his Robin in this universe. So,
Right.
God,
Which we still don't know if that was like which Robin that was. It's just alluded that it's Jason Todd because it's got all the Joker shit on it, but it's like, well, it could have been the first one. It could have been Dick, but
I hope not.
well,
Open ended.
we'll never know.
Never know.
But that rounds up DC this week.
Real quick, because like I said, Discussing Film just tweeted this out now 20 minutes ago. So they are saying
Breaking news, everyone. Let's head over to KP.
actors,
Hit the imaginary button. Breaking news.
yeah, so I don't know what this guy's from, because so now everyone else is tacking on to it, the direct and all them. So the big two that are in the mix to play Superman are apparently Nicholas Hoult and David Cornsweet, who I don't know what the hell that guy's from.
I'm gonna follow your Google search.
So this originally got broken out of the Hollywood Reporter.
Who? Nicholas? What?
Nicholas Hoult is...
Oh, I know who Nicholas.
Yeah,
okay, sorry. Who was
I
the
was
second
saying-
one?
David,
Oh,
and it's
David.
Cornsweet, but it's sweet. I don't know. Corenswet.
I could see it.
Ill-fated projectionist opposite Mia Goth and Pearl. He's a top contender to play Kent. And then I think the two contenders to
see
play Lois.
Especially that view there.
I don't think these are the two people everybody was wanting on the tweeters.
Well, probably not. That's usually how it goes, is they always find someone who, like, no one sees coming. I mean, you know, we've had that numerous times over the past, 15 years from DC.
He's 30. Oh, David is Mr. Cornsweet.
Yeah.
I could definitely see that. Don't know much about him as an actor, but
Others are
visually.
Jacob Elordi, sought-after star who broke out as a resident villain on Euphoria.
That might be the one.
British actors Tom Brittney and Andrew Richardson are also in the mix.
Who's that?
Andrew Richardson, who...
The one that was the villain?
Oh, Jacob Elordi? Yeah.
oh yeah,
Oh, okay. Yeah. He looks like he could be a Superman.
yeah. I remember we talked about him a couple episodes ago.
Yeah.
I think we did.
Yeah, there was rumors. I think that he was being talked to
Man,
about it anyway.
I don't know if I ever pictured Nicholas Hoult as Superman, really. But I really like Nicholas Hoult as an actor.
I was going to say, I like Nicholas Hoult as an actor, so honestly, I would be okay with that.
I'd say in the end, I'd be like, all right, let's give him a shot.
I would be okay with
Yeah,
that.
shoot, yeah.
But I would kind of,
I actually feel like he could
I would-
probably do a good job. I liked him as Beast in the X-Men movies.
I
Yeah,
kind of would
sorry,
like
I
to
forgot
see
about
Nicholas
that.
Hoult kind of as Batman, though, in a way. If he's going to exist, I would kind of like to see him as like a Bruce Wayne or in a Batman.
I could see that. Visually, anyway.
Yeah, visually. Wait, I don't know if he's got the voice.
You know what
for
the
it,
thing with...
potentially.
I was going to say, you know what the thing about that?
But
Now that you say
he's
that,
got
Jay?
those blue eyes, though, so he could pull off Superman. He got them nice, pretty blues.
The thing about...
Blues,
if he was...
Pearson Blues.
The thing with you saying him as Batman, I hate to say this, and this is the issue, usually with Batman and trying to, like, live adapt. I can see Nicholas Hoult play Bruce Wayne well. But in the suit as Batman, though, I don't know. I don't know if I can see that. Yeah, I can. What's that? How's that looking?
I like it.
For those of you just listening, he put his fingers up to his computer screen to put the mask on him. So,
This is our elite casting skills.
yeah.
Elite.
Hire us, James. We'll get it right. We swear.
We go through all the tests, okay?
Okay.
The finger mask test. You passed. You passed.
He's got
And
the
then,
he's got the face for the cow.
So, actresses, as for, and Hollywood Reporter goes on in this article, as for Lois Lane, Emma Mackey, who's the star on, or is one of the stars, excuse me, on Netflix series Sex Education.
Okay. Looks. I don't know. Looks. Yes.
He looks, yes. I have no idea. I've not watched that show.
I've seen her in a few things.
And then the star of Marvelous Mrs. Maisel, Rachel Brosnahan, is the other contender for Lois Lane. Who, honestly, she'll probably end up getting it if she's really in the mix. I would assume. Because I could see her as Lois Lane. Have you ever watched that? Marvelous Mrs. Maisel?
Mm-mm.
It's pretty good.
It's a well done show. I just wasn't.
I'm not
my
familiar
taste.
with either
It's a
one of
very
these
it's a-
actresses, but
The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel is a very well done show where she depicts like a certain comedian, like back in the 60s, or is it the 50s?
It's got to be the 50s.
It's at a time period where it's like
You don't have.
it's
that.
definitely before the civil rights movement, and she just goes into comedy clubs and she starts being a comedian, and she's like a dirty comedian like any other guy, and like that's like what the show's about, is how this, like, I think it's based on an actual comedian of how she like
broke the mold.
broke that mold.
Yeah.
Let's see. They said that
They both have the look for it. They both have that Lois Lane look.
Yeah.
Especially, like, I'm not gonna lie, Emma Mackey. Like, I don't know who. I'm not familiar with either one of these two, but Emma Mackey for me is like, yeah, that's who I kind of picture when I think of Lois Lane.
I've seen her in some stuff too. She's good actress.
I was gonna say,
never,
I think her name
can't
sounds
remember
familiar, that I've seen her in other things.
probably none of her big projects. I don't think I've seen.
Oh, I guess
any
she's
of those
gonna be in
down
the
there.
Barbie movie.
I'll say though that the other actress maybe doesn't look like the Lois you want, but I will say that I can see her as the personality. Like, I think she could actually make it fit. If you like, again, I think if you go watch Marvelous Mrs. Maisel, and just knowing how Lois Lane is kind of like this, not entirely usually comedy relief character in Superman, but kind of the more upbeat personality, I could see her pull it off.
And she's got to be a little snarky, you know. She's got
And
to be able to put Clark in his place.
That's why if you go watch that show,
Just watch
I
some
think
clips.
you'd be okay.
Just watch some clips and you'll
you'd
get
be
a good...
fine then with that choice.
I'd say I think she can pull off the look for Lois Lane too. But yeah, I if you especially, I like to hear that, like what you're saying. Like if she's got the chops,
Oh,
that's
Yeah.
kind of
Dude,
what's
she-
most important
honestly,
in
the
end.
show, like Jeff and I said, like I didn't really get hooked on it, but the show is good and
She-
it's actually really funny at times.
her performance in it is
Yeah,
great. So
Yeah.
it's. I mean that's why
I mean,
got
she
as much
won
hype
it.
as did.
She won an Emmy for it.
Yeah.
So I mean,
Oh,
yeah,
okay, come on.
Yeah.
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 Then the article does go on to say that Holt might be in the contention though for Lex Luthor. So
Oh, that kind of makes me a little sad. I was hoping they'd when we. I'm not gonna lie. When we watched
won't lie.
watched Guardians and I saw Michael Rosenbaum, I was like, he's in with Gunn. Could he be back?
I will say
miss him as
I don't know
Lex.
if I would like Nicholas Holt as Lex Luthor because it might just remind me too much of how Titans is doing Superboy in the latest seasons, which I have stopped watching that show. Yeah, I was gonna throw
You really hesitated on
I
that.
think
I was gonna throw an adjective in there, but I was like, you know what? I'll hold it. It's just
I'll Holt it.
I'll hold
Very
it.
nice.
The show
Very
show has just become something that is not for me
Okay.
because
Hey,
of how bad it is.
I'm the DC guy, and you lasted way longer than I did on that show. I'm proud of you, actually.
This last season has been
You committed there for a while.
well, the first 3 I'd say are pretty good, but this last season has been just a snooze fest, and
Oh man, oh that's so interesting. Nicholas Hoult as Lex Luthor.
Dude, I would take that with like a Lordy or a what's his nuts that they just said. With Holt, what's his name? Sweat, something Sweat, what's his name?
Apparently, Nicholas
David.
Hoult,
Something Sweat.
Yeah, sorry, corn
Sweat.
Yeah.
Corn Sweat,
Corn
or
Sweat.
something
Corn
like that.
Sweat. Yeah, I could see either one of those easy. I mean, Elordi's got. I mean, he's just. I mean, he looks like a comic book Superman, like 'cause he's tall,
Yeah.
built. You know, I mean, good looking guy. So, and he kills it in Euphoria. I mean, he's great role, dark role.
Interesting.
I
But-
guess Nicholas Hoult was the runner-up to be Matt Reeves' Batman. So I don't know if you had known that, but I was just saying, like I was reading that in here too,
I did
and I was
not
like,
know that.
oh, well, is that why
Interesting.
Jay maybe has said that? Because
I did not know
Yeah.
that. Interesting. Maybe I'll get it after all.
Yeah.
maybe.
Yeah, very likely. It seems
So
like.
there's a few actors out there that I'd be pretty stoked if they got cast as Batman. So, like honestly, I'm not gonna lie. If my main pick for Batman was Jake Gyllenhaal.
Oh
Well,
God, he's incredible.
but he's
Have you guys?
Are you saying for the DCU or just like Matt Reeves' universe?
DCU.
Oh, DCU. Okay, Jake Gyllenhaal. Because do they want an
I don't-
older Batman?
He's got to be at least somewhat older if he's got Damian around. Can't have a 25-year. Well, I mean, you could.
Well,
It'd be
you
a little
could.
weird, but
It's not that weird.
It's
you
not
you
weird,
might be
but-
judging a lot of
I'm
people
not
out there in
judging.
America right
I'm
now
saying weird as
that.
far as the Batman
People have
timeline.
kids
It's not
a little
accurate
too
to
early
how it
than
actually
planned,
goes.
Jordan, it happens.
Okay, if he has Damian
Not
that
me.
early,
I'm not one of those people.
if he has Damian
I'm
that
one of
early,
those
then
people.
how early was?
I am one of those people.
If he has Damian that early, then how early does Dick Grayson, Jason Todd, and Tim Drake come along? Then when Bruce is like 8?
We're fucking it up, and they're just not going to be a part of this unit now. I don't know, man. I don't know.
Multiverse.
Yeah, you're right. I mean,
Multiverse.
Oh man,
So what do we got in the old?
Gyllenhaal.
dude, have you guys either one of you seen Covenant yet or heard anything about that?
I have not.
Dude, so apparently, what I'm being
is
told,
this?
it's based on a true story, war story type movie, about a translator over in the Middle East, and I'm not exactly sure if it's Marines, Army, whatever. I'm not sure which branch, but he basically gets saved by this translator and has to go back and save him and his family from the insurgents in the area that are going to kill him for helping the U.S. military. And apparently, like, obviously very similar to the lone survivor type of story, but this one's another one that's based on true story, not in a direct true reflection or adaptation. But what I'm being told it is fucking awesome, like top notch. And if that's your type of movie, I mean, I'm gonna try to go out of my way to see this thing, but.
It's in theaters.
Yeah. I think it's a theatrical release, but I'm not 100% sure yet because, the buddy that told me about it gets all those movies for free. You feel me? So it is what it is.
Okay.
Yeah, he gets all those movies for free with the jailbroken Fire Stick action.
I was just gonna say he worked for a movie theater.
Yep. Jailbroken Fire Stick. Hey, it's the gray area.
Hey, get him, not us. We don't.
Yeah.
It's the gray area.
Yeah.
It's the gray area because if you own the Fire Stick, they can't technically do anything to you. They can do to the people that released the movie illegally, but
Well, yeah.
not to you.
Interesting.
Legal gray area.
That's true. I mean, that's just how it works on the internet. in
Not
general.
legal advice.
Not legal.
Yeah, that's
Not
just
legal
how it
advice.
works on the internet in general.
Yep.
It's like
If it's public domain.
Reddit is not at fault for leaked shit.
Yep.
It's the asshole that put it on there.
Exactly.
It's
Bingo. That's the legal gray area. So we can all take it in, and they can't come after us for knowing their proprietary secrets.
Right.
And that's the way it goes.
Oh man,
Yep.
So, what do we got in the news
Marvel
of
news.
Marvel?
Marvel.
I don't know if we talked about this. I don't think we did because we only did a review of Guardians for last week. So Loki apparently is, and I might have brought this up before, but I guess Loki is now going to be out in October. So it's been pushed back even more. Because I think before we said like summer release.
That sucks. That
So,
stinks. I was
yeah.
looking forward to that. But
Oh.
I get it.
It happens.
Yeah, I get it.
Yeah, so apparently that's going to be coming out in October. Not really. This is coming off the direct.
What was it supposed to be released originally? Was it?
We've talked a couple times about it, and
I can't remember if it was. I can't remember if it was in August or is it July or August? I can't remember.
well, I mean, it was pretty much announced that they were gonna have a second season last year, and people probably thought like, oh, it'll be probably around like right now.
Yeah, a
Well,
year
then
from
it
now.
was summer. Well, then it was maybe August, maybe September, and now it's like, well, maybe September. At one oh, it's actually okay. In this article in the direct, just caught it. Owen Wilson told Variety he expected the show to premiere at the end of summer, September, but I guess circumstances have changed dramatically.
I wonder what that circumstance could be.
Yeah. Is it that thing we keep bringing up?
That major thing?
Yeah, that major thing we keep bringing up. So now they're thinking October.
Or Ahsoka in the end of August, which
And again, because of said strike, it could be delayed more and more and more. But I don't know. Other things. In an interview with Entertainment Weekly, longtime MCU star Don Cheadle confirmed that his role in Secret Invasion is that he is the right hand to the President of the United States. Which is interesting because in Avengers Endgame, it kind of seemed like he didn't really give a shit. Or not in Endgame, in Infinity War, he kind of seemed to not give a shit what the Thunderbolt Ross and the rest of his team really thought.
Yeah.
So that's interesting that now he's going to be like his right-hand guy, apparently, is what Cheadle is saying. So that's kind of interesting.
Yeah.
Guess he's making it out of Thunderbolts.
So, right. I wonder, too, if, like, so he's, I hope then that means he's kind of in the show a lot more as being, like, we'll see Don Cheadle a lot as who's communicating with Sam Jackson when he's going back to the President of the United States, maybe. Is, like, how I would interpret.
So wait, did you say this was for Secret Invasion, or
Yeah.
So for the for the TV show?
For this show,
Okay.
yeah.
So kind of
Interesting.
Yeah, because Harrison Ford's probably not going to be in that.
About to say yeah, no.
So
Sorry, when you originally thought, I was thinking of the movie when you originally brought it up.
Oh no.
Also, fuck them for having two projects that goes together. That's like Secret something. Yeah, that's kind of cool.
Secrets.
Secrets.
Secrets that are very secret-y.
Invasion.
Glory. Yeah. So, okay. Moving on, I guess. No more thoughts on that. I thought you were saying something. I don't remember. Hollywood Reporter shared that the plot synopsis for Wonder Man is going to center around a Hollywood stuntman and an actor who's trying to make it big in the movies.
Sounds perfect.
Yes.
Sounds exactly like what it should be.
Yes.
What a time. We're getting a Wonder Man.
I know. It's so weird.
It's
like...
Oh, that's so awesome.
It's like there's times where it's like, man, Marvel like went out there with this character. Can't believe they're doing this character, and then now like we're doing Wonder Man. Yeah.
I can't wait. I have high hopes for this project. I can't remember. Have they actually casted who's going to play him yet? I know there's been...
Isn't it? It's the... So his face is here. This actor that...
Oh, from...
He plays Black Manta in
yeah.
Aquaman, and I can't remember his name.
I feel like I always butcher his name.
And
so.
I know I butcher his name. Here, I'll just real quick.
That'd be cool for him then, though.
Yeah.
Get a
definitely.
lead role.
I believe.
Probably get to see a little bit more of a comedic side from him.
I am gonna butcher the hell out of that.
Yeah, we'll
What
go
is
with
it?
It
Yala
looks
Abdul
like-
Mateen.
Yeah, it
We'll just
looks
go with
like
that.
Yahya Abdul Mateen II.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But
on.
phenomenal actor, though. He's a great
Yeah,
actor.
he's a really good actor. So sounds like, yeah, like you said, Jay, I agree that it sounds like it's kind of like the perfect origin thing. Maybe that's why he wants to, become the superhero, get the powers, so his stunt work can be easier on his body.
Yeah.
So, like, that's probably how that's going to go down, I would assume.
It'll be cool to see him in more of like, I would imagine would be more of a comedic role, because usually he's
Yeah.
done a lot more
Serious, very serious
serious
stuff, yeah.
So it'll be kind of cool to see him in a different light and in a different role. So that's very exciting. I can't wait for that project, actually.
All right, and then, so, moving on real quick again, Samuel L. Jackson. He revealed
These
motherfucking shows and movies to watch before Captain the Marvel 2, aka The Marvels. He was speaking with Empire magazine, and he said, obviously, you have WandaVision, because that's going to introduce you to Photon. Ms. Marvel. And then he's saying you should watch Secret Invasion, but he's also the main star of that show. So
Wonder why.
I don't know. Maybe because the beginning of the trailer
That's it.
of the Marvels, they're in a space station that's above the Earth, and it's got a new name now. It's not Sword, right?
Yeah, is it Saber?
Saber?
Yeah, I think it's
Yeah.
Saber now.
So maybe Secret Invasion will show us that transition of why, from the end credit scene at the end of Far From Home, when it was Sword, so now he's come back to Earth, it's screwed up, and he's going to figure out what he's got to do in Secret Invasion, and then now we're going to have Saber, I assume.
When does Secret Invasion drop again?
That is coming up pretty soon, is it not?
I feel like it. That's why I was kind of. I feel like it's got to be around the corner
It's
here.
definitely sneaking up on us, though.
It's.
So I'm pretty excited because I've heard some really, really good things about this show from people that have read the scripts.
Oh, that's good. I'm wanting to say June, but I feel like that's wrong. So let me try to search it.
Yeah, just from what I've heard from people that have read the scripts.
Oh, okay, June 21st. Okay, so I was
okay.
right.
Let's go. A
Dang.
little over a month.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, a little over, yeah. You're right. Yeah. So yeah, I guess if you kind of want to have some background on the characters that'll be in the Marvels, then definitely go watch WandaVision and Ms. Marvel, and then I guess Secret Invasion to kind of know the state of the Earth and where it's at in the movie, in relation to Nick Fury. I do like both of those shows. Ms. Marvel is at times kind of slow. WandaVision, though, I love because it's got a lot of nostalgia factor because they kind of spoof/parody a lot of old sitcom shows for each episode. The one where they do Modern Family and Malcolm in the Middle, those are my two personal favorites. But
Modern
yeah.
Family. What a.
Yeah,
Love
that show is amazing.
So good.
That show is amazing. So yeah, so go watch that stuff if you want a little bit of a background. And then the very last thing I have is like kind of laughable because it's like, will this movie ever actually get made? Is that
Oh God.
God? Yeah, this strike
Oh,
needs to
no.
get over.
Oh no.
But Variety is reporting that Mia Goth is going to play Lilith in Blade.
Oh, so we actually have a confirmed who her character is now.
Yeah, that's what was coming out this week, is that she is reportedly going to be playing Lilith.
Poor Blade Flashpoint, man.
God. Rip.
Like, right, it's
Rip.
It's just in this hellhole.
9 years.
Just fitting because it's
later.
Blade.
It's been 84 years.
Yeah.
And the WGA is still on strike.
And T3P watched the movies from the grave.
I mean, like this article is even saying, this was announced back in 2019. And it's like, you don't even have a script for it yet.
They're going to talk more about delaying it than people are going to talk about the movie itself. Feels like. And that's, I mean, obviously, good lord, obviously a victim of the
I'm
circumstances
just
right
worried
now.
that the character himself is it's going to be kind of like with Adam Warlock and Guardians. It's like, yeah, you've delayed it so long. It's like now, at this point, like,
How do they fit?
is the character even going to be, how true is it going to fit? And then is there going to be a point to have the character?
Mm-hmm.
Right. Yeah, you might age him out of the universe by the time you
Yeah.
actually put something out that's worth something.
Yeah.
You know.
And that's honestly the super interesting thing is, like, I know that Blade and, like, Ghost Rider are, like, fans like those characters. They're cool. There's something different for Marvel. But for as far as the MCU goes, I don't know. I don't know how that's really going to work.
With the current atmosphere, that's tough.
Yeah.
It's going to be tough.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure.
And I'm not trying to say the whole light and dark thing.
Right.
Like, I'm not trying to specifically say, like, oh, it's because Marvel's so
Well, that's
bright.
what was also kind of so weird about Werewolf by Night.
Yeah.
Right.
It's like, this was cool, but
how does it actually
but
fit?
yeah, like, I don't feel like this actually jives with the rest of the universe. Like,
Yeah. That's kind of why I'm just so... It's just so weird that even when they very first announced it, I was like, I don't feel like those characters just would work in this universe.
Dude, and the problem is, the tragic part of it all is that all these delays and all this pushback, the movie is going to have to be spectacular for it to hit.
Yeah,
Like-
otherwise
like-
people are going to be like, oh, I can see why it took forever to make this piece of shit.
Right. It's like, yeah, and that's the thing is, even though the delays weren't caused by the quality of the movie, like, but that's what people are going to say. I waited this long for this,
Yeah.
like that, and that's, unfortunately, it happens quite a bit. But especially with comic book movies, people are savages as is under the best circumstances. So.
I mean, shit, look at how much crap The Flash is still getting. It's actually getting good reviews and is regarded as an all-time great. People are still shitting on that trailer constantly in the suit and everything all over the place.
Exactly, and the longer we wait, and as long as we've waited for it, people are like, "All right, you made me wait. Stick the landing," But impossible expectations sometimes.
I just wonder if they're going to be able to keep the actor.
Yeah, I know, right?
Like, how long is he going to wait?
Well, and two, I mean, but then he also just wasn't happy with the way it was. I mean, I guess he wasn't really happy with the way the production was going and stuff.
Can't see why.
Yeah, I can't imagine why. It's taking forever. So yeah, I guess you're right. Yeah, how long will he stick around?
It's true.
We just
Which would be
bow out
tough
of it.
because he's another great actor too. So
It's gonna be awkward too because he already went to like I said, went to Comic Cons and appeared on panels to be the character.
You're pretty much.
And the only
locked
thing
in.
we've gotten out of it so far is his voice in an end credit scene.
Woof.
that's rough. Let's get the strike over with. Come on.
Right.
Just pay him.
Pay him. I mean,
But that's all I got
come
for
on.
the MCU. I mean, there's plenty of other pointless crap out there that I don't think merits actual talking points, but, let us know if I'm wrong.
yeah. If
I
there's
mean,
something
yeah,
you
we
want us
can-
to talk about,
yeah,
let us
you
know.
Can, if you can
Yeah.
talk, if you want us to talk about it, but
Yeah, if there's anything we have missed this week, feel free to
Yeah.
comment down below.
right.
I mean, that goes for everything. If there's anything that you notice that you'd want us to kind of deep dive into or evaluate, leave a comment. And of course, like and subscribe. Always.
And maybe there's a
Always.
show or movie out there you guys want us to check out. You think would be down our alley. We'll never know. We could always sit around, watch it, and review it, and just have it as a side video. We don't have a show or anything right now to review anyway.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah,
It's a
we're
good
kind of
time.
waiting. We're waiting for stuff, so.
It's always a good time.
Wow.
If you want to have us break down a movie, that might be something interesting. We'll reach out. We're reaching out right now. Tell us a movie. We'll watch it.
We're reaching out right now. This episode, this video.
No time like the present. give us a movie. We'll watch it. We'll review it. Obviously, if it's something that we've all seen already, we can just deep dive a little bit into it. But if it's something new, something interesting,
Yeah.
be fun.
Be down. I know that you have a certain fun topic for us to talk about today in Star Wars. But did you have any news prior?
Yes, I do. Yes, I do. So, Tony Gilroy, second unit director for Rogue One, the movie, and then show creator for Andor, has come out and said that season 2 of Andor, the last 3 episodes, will be the last 3 days that take place before the events of Rogue One.
Nice.
So it's going to be a nice transitional period where they're going to actually take the time in the last 3 episodes to expand upon that area and how they actually come to find out where Jin is. And
I was going to say it's going to lead up to where she's at, and then also maybe tie into like why he goes to that one planet that he's on at the beginning of the movie to meet that guy that's like freaked out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I kind of like refuse to watch Rogue One until after. Well, I've already seen it, but I refuse to watch it again until after the show's over because I just want to see how different that the end of the movie hits now that we just have this full
story,
now. Like we actually know this character now, and unlike last time, the first time watching it, it's like, who is this guy?
Dude,
it'd be kind of cool to go back and rewatch it now that we are
so true.
Very attached to this character now.
And dude, the Rogue One trilogy is like, and I guess you can call it a trilogy between season 1, season 2, and then the movie itself. The Rogue One trilogy. I mean, it's up there, dude. I haven't even seen the second season yet. As long as they deliver on it, and this has the potential to be another staple in the universe because Rogue One was wildly successful. So
yeah,
and very, very satisfying at the end.
Yes.
That all way.
Yes.
Made Papa very proud.
Yes, but to that effect, Tony Gilroy actually just in an interview, and I stole this specifically for you because Tony Gilroy's been getting a lot of heat because they want more Rogue One, and they were talking about like obviously releasing a certain type of cut of that movie.
Who does that shit?
Who does that? And
do I need to start a campaign?
Tony Gilroy came out and said that he is not going to release a quote-unquote Snyder cut version of Rogue One.
Actually, I think I did see this quote.
That's
the fact that he like even said that. That's so funny.
Because didn't he say something to the effect of like the best cut of this movie is what you guys saw?
Yes.
The definitive best cut is what you guys saw.
He said the best possible version of the movie is the one that you guys already have. So that's to me, that's the best way you could have handled that.
Well, if he doesn't want his own cut, then I ain't campaigning. There's some stuff from the
trailers that had Vader that obviously made the chopping block, and I'm like, well,
give it to me.
Yeah,
yeah, that's true. I wish they would do like a deleted scenes type of situation where they show all the possibilities. They could do like a special edition release of that, but
you do that, then everyone online says, "Why did you remove this?" And then you have to do the director cut, fucking Snyder 4-hour version.
This is something that I think kind of blows, and that I think streaming services should start doing more. Is kind of including stuff like that. Like deleted scenes, special features, stuff you would normally get when you buy the physical media version of it.
Yeah. I wonder
if they truly want physical media to die, include that shit because it'll die. Because that's literally like the main incentive, other than just you just want to have it.
Yeah, Because I can see Disney would be like, well, that's stupid. We're gonna have our physical, like sales plummet. Then, I could see like why Disney would not do it. But others, I mean, if other streaming services have that capability and they can get that agreements on some things, then it's like, you should do it.
Yeah.
But I will say that's got to be like the thinking behind that is that they don't put it out there because then that gives you incentive. Like, well, if you care that much, go buy the actual physical copy that has the extra disc that has all this on there.
Yeah.
I just wonder how many people are actually going out there and buying them for those features. I feel like most people that are still buying physical media probably buy it because either A, that's just their preferred method of buying their media, or B, they're like me and only buy like their favorites, like their absolute favorites, or like.
I've gotten to that point. I used to just buy every single one, and anymore. And a lot of it is also because just with Marvel, Phase 4 just was a snooze fest outside of 3 movies. I stopped buying every single one.
And it's like for me, like usually it's I buy my favorite movies, but then for a while I quit with Marvel. But I was buying like all the Marvel movies. I do have like all the DC movies. Like even if it's a movie I don't like, it's like
Yeah.
fuck it. I'm
I think
I can't be missing this one.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
I just buy it
think
anyway.
I think I
See
own
my
all
collection.
the DC ones.
Clone Wars, Rogue
Yeah.
One.
I need to.
This Star
Actually,
Wars.
I need to.
I might
My
not.
Star Wars one is actually incomplete now. I used to have the that really beautiful like book that has like the first 2 trilogies.
Yes.
And it's got that beautiful artwork on the front.
The collector's
Yep,
edition.
the collector.
Gabagool, gabagool.
But I don't have any of the new trilogy. Wonder why? And I don't have Rogue One, so I'll have to update my Star Wars collection because it's incomplete right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just got the saga. It all came in that one, the Blu-ray edition. There it came. The all 9 movies came in one stretch. I'm like, might as well just pick that up.
I love when they release collector's edition. Like
Oh,
when they
dude.
released when Back to the Future trilogy finally came out on Blu-ray and they released them all in a nice little book. I was like, yeah. Day one
Thank
release,
you.
I showed up. I was like, yep, give me my Back to the Future,
I'm gonna need
please.
that. I need that. I need that.
I need that right now.
Yeah, we somewhere I've got all the original. I got the original trilogy on VHS in the
Yeah,
original sleeve.
I think
and
my
stuff.
mom still has hers.
Yeah,
It's been a while
nice.
since I looked at those gorgeous bad boys.
I know.
Nice.
For those of you who don't know, a VHS. No.
Yeah. Exactly.
Oh god.
We're that old.
Just dated ourselves.
We're that old now. We're that old.
The
But
poor baby out there.
I know she's just pissed. I know.
Separation anxiety.
I know. It's like she can hear me. I can't see you. I don't understand this.
I don't understand.
But moving on anyway. As far as Star Wars news, if you want to take a second so I can let her outside, or
Ooh, I mean,
Yeah, what's the batteries at actually?
what's the time at?
So
hour and 2 minutes.
Oh,
might not be a bad idea just to
I
switch them
mean-
out because his one topic we might stick on for a
Yeah,
bit,
and I've
so.
got quite a bit more news too. So
okay.
Yeah, Hard break. We'll catch you on the other side. Poor little Freya out there needs to go potty.
All right, take a quick break.
And we're back for family.
for family. Well, continuing on, obviously transitioning out of Andor and Rogue One speak, going on to on May the 4th, our Star
May the
Wars
4th be
Day.
with you.
May the 4th be with you. Mark Hamill and Billy Lord. Obviously, Mark Hamill, our cherished and loved Luke Skywalker, and Billy Lord, the daughter of Carrie Fisher, the late
Oh.
Carrie Fisher.
Yes,
Yeah.
this was really cool.
Yeah, they she actually finally got her Hollywood Walk of Fame star. And then on May 4th.
About time.
Yep, exactly. And on May 4th, they had at Billy and Mark speak on Carrie's character, and it was deep, especially when the My Princess moments of the Mark Hamill speech were mint. So that was a beautiful thing that we all got to see on the 4th. So that's about time, like you said. But let's see here. Moving on to the Filoni interview, where we're talking about Ahsoka and how it is, and how people are rumoring it to basically be season 5 of Rebels.
I saw that.
Yeah, and he pretty much didn't deny it. I mean, he goes the way that he says based on he's like, that's funny you say that. He says based on the way that I ended the series, but the shot ending the series and how that shot is in the trailer for this, and then we see Sabine, we see
Right.
Trap, all of them. And, no, it didn't deny it. So you see that flying around?
Yeah.
I kept following
Little
it.
gnat. We're under attack.
I
I
kept
got
looking
those-
around. I'm like,
those, yeah, they're starting to come out. I've got one in my house too.
bastards.
Yep.
Bastards.
But Obviously, that's a big thing for Filoni, and I think that him being able to use these characters and continue them, and it's not just, oh, Rebels is done, wrap it up, put a bow on it. No.
You thought we were done.
Yeah, and dude, Star Wars' ability to go from animated to live action is intense. Their ability to successfully do it and do it well. I mean, yeah, even what we've seen so far looks great. And let's see here. And to touch back, one thing I did forget about, and this is from a couple weeks ago in our timelines book that Star Wars just had published and released.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Old Cad Bane is not confirmed to be dead yet.
I mean, he shot him. He was lying on the ground.
Plo Koon is not.
Oh my god.
Restore Plo Koon.
Hey.
Restore the Koon.
Restore the Koon
No.
verse.
That was the movie I watched for myself on May 4th. That dude's dead. Okay, he's dead.
Yeah,
He's dead.
Dude, I know. George already said that's not something that that's not something that they need to do. And I think who was it? Was Filoni just uses it because that's what everybody wants, and it's what nobody would expect just to bring him back in. So he always just says, "Oh, it's Plo Koon that shows up," and they're like, "It's," and then he's like, "Oh, what do you do? Just sprinkle in Luke Skywalker."
Yeah, it's Plo Koon. Plo Koon is my Phantom code name for who it really is going to be, or whatever.
It has to be, yeah. Because I mean, what was it? Sackhoff. She's like, I thought Plo Koon was coming back. I thought it was going to be Plo Koon, and then I see Mark Hamill on set, and I'm like, oh, this isn't Plo Koon. Like, that's so funny. That's so funny that he says that, and he just uses popular characters as a distraction. But in the Timelines book, the way that they leave it open is they say that he was left out of order. But it didn't say that he was killed by Boba.
He shot him, didn't he?
Yes, he did shoot him. Yeah, but also on you when you see his suit, the suit doesn't turn off. It shows like there's a life support blink that's supposedly keeping him alive. That's what people are saying. That's the big rumor. And when they said
You're talking about Egghead from Quantum Mania?
Pretty much. I'm a dick.
I'm a dick.
Oh my god. No, but
my god is right. Just these.
No one's ever truly gone.
Yeah, I fucking guess so. Jeez.
Yeah, but I mean, honestly, I think a lot of people were like pissed about the way that he was taken out, and like he didn't really ever have like that wasn't even really his moment because he's had so many much better ones where he came out on top or got away, and then for that to be the way that he's just done. There's just no way. I mean, Cobb Vanth is coming back. He's sitting in the back to tank somewhere. So why can't Cad Bane?
Okay, fair, I guess.
Yeah, Cobb Vanth took it. He got dropped like a bad habit by Cad Bane. So, I mean, what's her name? The sniper that helps Boba Fett. What's her name?
Oh, Fennec Shand?
Yeah, Shan. Literally pulls her shirt up and there's like gears working in her stomach. Like
that's true, and maybe they could just do that with Cad since he already, like you said, he already has the life support system anyway. Mm-hmm. So maybe that's how it happens.
True, but shame on Boba not doing his due diligence and putting two in him.
Okay.
I mean, honestly.
Didn't realize it was, zombie apocalypse rules here.
Double tap.
Double tap.
Double tap.
Listen, if I'm going against one of the baddest bounty hunters in the galaxy and I put him down, I don't want him standing up while I'm walking away. Like, I'd rather just...
Should have double tapped him.
I mean, hey, take it from the clones putting down the Jedi. They were just lighting them up when they were. Ground.
Again, rewatch that movie. They didn't fire just once. They pumped about 20 rounds into each one.
While they're just laying on the ground, just lighting them up. I'm like, holy shit, man. Like, there's a reason why. Like, it's so sad when you watch it, like, for the first time and even for times after that. But then you rewatch it later on and you're like, oh, God, this is brutal. I mean, just especially when they pan out and they're still showing her getting lit up. I'm like,
Dude,
they should have showed the blaster.
Every time
hole.
I
Actually, yeah, that scene, yeah, they do just.
She has the most gruesome death. At least they panned away for the
talking
children.
about the Twillick.
Yeah, dude.
That's what I was gonna bring up too. Is like she technically really has the most brutal way of going.
Yeah,
Her and
at least they panned.
Keely Mundi Ali, or however you say
Oh,
his Kali.
Katmandu Almundi.
Amundi. Okay,
Amundi.
yeah. I was gonna say I can never remember exactly how to say it. He gets lit up too. They just pelting them.
Yeah,
Like,
dude. Then at least they panned away for the children.
yes.
But I'm sure a lot of you know that George originally kept that footage in the film.
Yeah.
And when they screened it, he was like, "Oh,
I can't.
I can't release
Can't
this."
do it. Yeah, if I release this, the movie will get an R rating, and it's gonna destroy my
I want to
franchise.
see that.
Yeah.
I want to see that cut. That little kid, Mr. Skywalker.
There's too many of him. What are we going to do?
I want to see Lucas's original vision. Release the Lucas cut.
Release the children getting cut.
4-hour version.
You
of
thought
it,
this
man.
Yeah, just
original
an
version
hour-long
was
massacre.
Oh God.
Just a massacre in the whole temple. Well, we did actually get to see him fighting some younglings
Yeah, the hologram.
in the hologram, but that's the most you're going to get. I mean, well, no. We revisited it. We're in a new day and age.
If you watch
Kenobi.
Obi-Wan though, or Kenobi, you do get to see some of it.
Yeah, you get to see some little chitlin get impaled, and then all bunch
Get
of
to
dead
finally
bodies.
see how big of a piece of shit Anakin really is.
Yeah, or
He-
Lord Vader.
Lord Vader.
Yeah.
But speaking of characters coming back, Urkel.
Urkel.
Did I do that?
Is he gonna say that in the show?
I fucking hope not.
All right. Well, why don't you speak the relevance of Urkel?
Well, Jaleel White, popular character from back in, what was that, the 90s? That Urkel was really popular?
80s or 90s. I can't
80s,
remember.
I think it was 80s, late 80s, early 90s. What the hell is the show called?
Family Matters.
It was Family Matters. Okay,
Yes.
yeah.
Well, he's confirmed in an interview he recently had that he's going to be in the Star Wars production of Skeleton Crew with Jude Law. So the only details that he released in the interview was that while he was shooting for the show, he had 2-hour makeup sessions daily. So can only imagine that obviously he won't be a character that we're necessarily going to recognize
I
because
know.
he'll be an alien more or less. But 2-hour makeup sessions every day, and
Oh,
a hell
so
of a way.
he's definitely an alien.
Yep. So that'll be fun to see how that develops or who we end up finding out he actually is in the movie.
Yeah.
But
The quest to find Urkel and Skeleton Crew.
well, dude, it's super cool because I mean, the Skeleton Crew for me is starting to become more and more of a fun idea because it's just like, I mean, you're just a bunch of kids lost in the galaxy trying to find your way through, and you're just traveling planet to planet, just trying to find a place to go or trying to find a home. Sign me up, because I think this actually happens. I think it's New Republic era. I think,
Yeah.
from what I can recall, but I mean, obviously Jude Law is mint, and then Jaleel White, we'll see exactly how he plays the character in this, if it's just like a cameo type situation too.
I hope he's at least a reoccurring character.
I hope so,
character.
too.
Yeah.
That'd be kind of cool.
Yeah, it'd be fun.
So he's I've seen him pop up occasionally in a few other projects, and I mean he's a pretty good actor. Like
Yeah, I haven't seen him in anything other than obviously what he's known for primarily early in his career, but I haven't seen really much anything about him recently. I didn't even know he was still active. So
Yeah.
So yeah, that's actually pretty exciting. When does this show release?
I believe it's in October this year.
Really?
I mean, that's what I was believing it was slated for, but maybe
I
I'm
didn't realize it was coming out that soon.
It could be a little bit later than that. It seems like everything is. Say Skeleton Key.
Can't remember.
Skeleton Crew. That's it. It's a series. 2023. So it's got slated. It hasn't really confirmed that much outside of a 2023
Yeah.
release.
Yeah, it looks like it just says this. First episode, 2023.
I've heard people say October though. Kind of when it rounds out the Ahsoka series, because Ahsoka will go from August to September, and then October to November would be that. We're taking the place of Bad Batch for this year.
And it looks like it says his character is a pirate.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm. At least according to this headline. I don't know if it's actually
sweet
true or not, but that kind of makes sense.
Yeah, that's actually pretty sweet. That's a sweet concept. The pirates, they just started bringing really back into the forefront with Mandalorian, with the Corsair, old lettuce face. Yeah, so a much younger cast guided by Jude Law. 4 kids. I don't really see a timeline, though, where it would fit.
Shit. Sorry.
What's that?
Oh, I'm just looking at Twitter and back to our boy real quick, who doesn't shut up. Blah, blah, blah about the apparent leaks of the runners in the mix. The interesting part about this tweet at the end. For now, only one person has been cast, in all caps, in Superman Legacy, and it isn't any of the regular players in the Superman world. Merman emoji. Okay. Right there. Dude holding a trident.
Dude right there holding a trident. Interesting.
Interesting.
And then, of course, the gif of whatever that is with Momoa and he flips the chair out.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
So, Alien Pirate?
Yep, Jaleel White.
That's what it would
Alien
seem
Pirate.
like.
Alien Pirate.
Hopefully just not lettuce face, though. Hopefully.
Yeah, I mean, dude, I think it's cool that they're just starting to do this in live action because, I mean, obviously with, what's his nuts, the goofy pirate that's always in.
I was just about to say, when the hell am I going to see live action Hondo?
Hondo, that's it. Dude, honestly, it's got to be coming. I think they're preparing us for it. Because, dude, even when you go to, like, Star Wars, like, Galaxy's Edge, he's in all of the shit there. Like, he's a heavy part of, like, the Smuggler's Run ride and everything. He's a pretty major character based off of everything that he's been in thus far. He needs to come back.
Right.
I mean, there was no end for him. You never saw him die.
No,
he's just there.
Just there. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's like, I think they're getting us ready for it. I mean, with Lettuceface, and now we're gonna have more pirates being introduced, especially with Thrawn coming back. Thrawn, that's for the majority of his young life. It's all he did was attack pirate clans.
Yeah.
Or trick them into attacking so that he could attack back.
Yeah.
But no, I think they're getting us ready for it. They need to. Hondo, I mean, that would be such a fun character to see live action. Such a fun character. Such an ass.
Yeah, it's awesome.
It's so funny.
It's awesome in Clone Wars and in Rebels.
Oh, yeah, and that's the thing. He's there for the entirety of the animated series, but across both of them.
Clone Wars, it's hilarious because he always goes on whenever he shows up after after the initial time he's there. Every other time he shows up, he will always go on to whatever characters in the episode. He goes on about how I'm friends with Jedi. I personally know Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Yeah.
Just bullshits his way through stuff, and it's just so funny.
And they always...
So he would be a great character to see.
Yeah, and they always use him so well, like with those characters, because like and they use him as as a means to an end. The Jedi do really to get them in on the inside, because the rats know the sewers, But Obi-Wan, that's so funny because Obi-Wan's always like literally he'll tell him to do something, and it's always just like his hand on his head, just so irritated all the time. But
yes,
no, it's exciting. He'll be around. He's got to be. But the main talking point that I wanted to bring to the table today, so IMDb has done their Star Wars universe ranked by rating.
Is
Top
this
10.
the big beefy point that we were alluding to?
Yes.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. So definitely some surprises.
And this is all Star Wars content. This
All
is
of
not just movies.
These are series,
It's all content.
I mean, yes, we're talking animated, live action.
So as the users have rated them.
Yes, as the
Okay.
users. So this is what
The audience thinks.
This is what you've given. This is what you've given IMDb. This is what you've given them, and I want you to know this. I don't agree.
Oh man,
But
this is gonna be interesting now.
but yes, okay. So I'm gonna start at 10, and I'm gonna work my way down.
Up.
Well, sure, okay. I mean, 10 to 10,
Okay,
worst to the best.
Well, yeah. I mean,
Yes.
I get what you mean.
Let's climb up the ladder. All right. So
Yeah.
all right, we'll start at 10. At a 7.8, Star Wars: The Clone Wars,
Oh, okay.
and that's the series itself. So.
Yeah.
Already off to a really bad start for me.
Well, it depends on what the other 9 things are. And I swear to God.
So we're off to a really bad start.
Oh no.
Okay.
I don't like where this is going.
Yeah, it's a tough list. But we'll get there. We'll get through it together. All right, it's all right. So number 9 at a 7.8, shared with Clone Wars the series, is Rogue One, a Star Wars story.
Don't like that.
Yep. Seems like I'm saying a lot of good quality content really early here, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Really early. So, yep. So we jump up from a 7.8 to an 8 flat at number 8 for Star Wars Rebels, which I could see that being in that slot.
Yeah.
In
okay.
I can see that.
All right,
you
we're
know?
coming back to a little bit of sense here.
Yep. And just,
Honestly, Rebels ahead of Clone Wars, though. That's interesting.
yeah, exactly. In a different order, I could still see them at 8 in a different order.
Yeah.
But just when you thought that it was starting to make a little bit more sense.
I don't know.
Number 7 is Tales of the Jedi, sitting at 8.2.
Prequel stand. I love Count Dooku. I love Count Dooku.
Yeah.
What other point was there of Tales of the Jedi other than background on his character?
I mean, that pretty much was what it was.
So was there that one episode about Ahsoka?
Yeah, she gets to kill
yeah,
an Inquisitor. Yeah, she kills an Inquisitor, and they do some things, and then
I forgot they have the episodes about Ahsoka too. Okay.
yeah. And I'm not saying it's bad. You know, I really like Tales of the Jedi for what it was.
Like you
But-
said, I think I'm just questioning this list, but
Yeah. Well, number 6, Return of the Jedi, sitting at a whopping 8.3.
is it bad that for me, even personally, even if I'm ranking the movies, that's about where I put it? Like, are you guys going to hate me now? Because I'm not going to lie, Return of the Jedi is about where I'm like, okay, let's kind of get the show on the road. Like-
Yeah, I mean, between for me, that's always been a debate with the original trilogy. Is like Empire Strikes Back is quality. I kind of like how the Return of the Jedi kind of unfolds more, though. There's more action and more kind of Vader interactions with him being in the evil side still in Empire Strikes Back.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I guess really the redeeming part of Vader for Return of the Jedi keeps that up there for me.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say necessarily 6. I'd say probably top 5, but it's pretty much 6 one, half dozen the other for most of these at this
I was
point
gonna
anyway.
say it's about 6 or 5.
Yeah, but I knew you were gonna love our next pick. I knew it.
So this is number 5.
This is 5,
Okay.
and I knew you were gonna love this.
Okay.
As sitting at an 8.4, above Return of the Jedi. Star Wars: The Clone Wars movie.
What? I mean,
People love
I was
that movie.
expecting something completely different with your sarcasm, but now this list is even more wrong than ever. that movie is like.
I knew how he felt about this movie, and I couldn't wait.
I'm not saying the movie is a total pile of crap, but it's not that good.
Yeah, I mean, I don't even have it in the
What
top
is
10.
this
It's just
shit?
I don't even have it in the top 10. So, but I mean, it's not a pile of crap like you said. It's okay. I liked it, but
The problem with that movie is like it's the beginning of it is awesome, but then it just the direction it goes after is like this is just too childish. Which I get it's animated, but God.
well, and honestly, all it really was like a super long extended episode of Clone Wars. I mean, that's
Yes.
really all it was
That's
anyway.
all it was.
And that's how I treat it too when I watch it. Like when I rewatch Clone Wars, like when it gets to the episode where that's supposed to take place in between, I'll watch that as another episode while I'm watching the series because it just makes more sense.
I think you're supposed to start with that movie and then watch the series.
Really, I thought it was. I
Yes.
thought it happened between.
'Cause
Well,
the
because remember it jumps around, so there's certain.
It does, but that movie is when Ahsoka gets introduced to Obi-Wan and Anakin. Because otherwise, when you go to watch the Clone Wars series, she's just there, and you're like, who the is this character?
Well, because in Clone Wars, I thought she didn't show up for a little while. Because I remember he gets tasked with the Padawan there, but I thought she didn't show up in the actual series for a little bit. I didn't think
She
was...
might not, but I'm just saying, like,
Well,
that
right.
movie is like, that's where it shows where she, because that movie, again, it picks up immediately when they went back to Geonosis after the events with Attack of the Clones. Because they immediately go, like, right back, because they're still, like, fighting on Geonosis for a while.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I don't know.
Number
I don't know. I have
five.
to look into that.
Okay.
Yeah, number 5. But
Okay.
getting a little bit more reasonable. Number 4 is at an 8.4, shared with the Clone Wars. Is Andor.
That's just blasphemy.
But-
Okay, this is where I draw the line. Okay, you gotta be kidding me.
Number 4.
Andor,
The 4 spot.
no, deserves to be tiers above that fucking movie.
Well, I mean, okay, so I can see,
This list sucks.
This is where I.
and the reason I bring this list to the
I don't even-
table is because
Of 3,
this.
2, and 1.
Dude, well, not necessarily. I think we see a lot of why the universe is the way that it is when I say the next 3.
Just saying, I don't know what they are. I did not look at this at all.
8.6, number 3, New Hope.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Actually, yeah.
Number 2, at an 8.7, above New Hope, The Mandalorian.
Ooh,
This is where it gets spicy.
Andor's better. I'm sorry, it's a better written show.
I would agree with that. I'd say Star Wars content-wise, why it got ranked higher by audience score.
It's
I
because it's
get
all
it.
the actual. It's
popular.
the fans of like me and you that
Yes.
appreciate what's in and what Mandalorian accomplishes more.
Yeah. Yeah,
Is
it does.
Andor a better written show?
Absolutely.
I will
Yeah,
say it makes sense
but-
why the rankings are where they are at, because I mean, this is at the end of the day, Mandalorian is more popular. I would say, well, not this last season, I guess, but overall, I would say the pop culture impact of the Mandalorian was far, far greater, especially with Grogu and.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah. As far as like
so it
universe
makes
building,
sense why the Mandalorian would be so high, because it was a very beloved show in the community, especially when it first dropped. So it makes sense. I don't 100% agree with the rating or the ranking, but
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of these on here that have merit for being in the top 10. But the issue is
Where
there's
they're
some
at.
in here that completely have ousted other projects.
I'll say it right now, number 5 absolutely should not be in the top 10.
I mean, no. I mean, what? I mean, and here's the thing: where is fucking Revenge of the Sith? I mean, that's the.
Oh, that gives away what number 1
No.
may be.
I was waiting to talk about that until you
well,
talked about one.
Well, I mean,
Because that was the second thing when I saw that list. I was like, but where is
yeah, no,
Yeah.
yeah. Which brings me to my final point: Empire Strikes Back. They have as an 8.7, tied with The Mandalorian.
that's blasphemy as well.
Yeah. So
Yeah, this
so
should just be an overall number 1.
so obviously surprise. I mean, the surprise of the list, the surprise entry on the list for me is Tales of the Jedi. I don't feel like that belongs in the top 10.
No, I don't.
whatsoever.
I would
I
say
do not
the,
think that
the,
belongs.
the two that are on there that are the biggest surprise are the Clone Wars movie and then Tales of the Jedi. Personal top 10 of mine, those don't come close
No.
at all. The Clone Wars series being number 10. Personally, should be higher. Logically thinking, makes sense. First couple seasons of that show, you're kind of like, what's going on? This jumps all over the place. Ahsoka's really annoying. I tell everyone before they watch it, I'm like, hey, that show's awesome. It's really, really good. There's a lot of good stuff in it. But, there's a but. There's a large in all caps B-U-T. T.
T, repeating, of course.
Dot, 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 this. And that's what I'll say about Clone Wars, so I don't know. I'm indifferent with where it's at. I just don't like those other two on there. And to your point, yes. Where's Revenge of the Sith?
Yeah.
The movie that has like 300 memes about it. The movie you can't watch anymore without laughing the whole time because you're like, huh, this meme.
Dude, there's reactors.
That even though I still watch and I still just love it and watch it every single time, and I'm like, God, this movie is beautiful. Even though, like, yeah, it's cheesy at parts and it definitely has its flaws.
It's on purpose. It's an opera. It's literally like a stage play almost. Like it's cheesy because it's forcing that.
Well, I don't mind the cheesiness. The flaw of the movie, the only thing about Revenge of the Sith that every time I watch it, I'm kind of like, this is kind of flawed. Speaking of operas, is when they're in watching the performance. Like, he visits Palpatine when they're watching the performance, and Palpatine says, like, hey, you ever heard the legend about this guy that, in parentheses, was totally my master, I fucking killed him, and now I'm trying to turn you, in parentheses. It's like, that's so, like, weird and out of place, because it's like, he tells Anakin this legend, and Anakin just kind of hears it, and then moments way later, yeah, I'm the guy. Just turns the lightsaber on, I should kill you, but I'm not gonna. And it's just kind of, that's a little flawed. It's a little out of place. I don't know, but
I think it's very purposeful. I mean, it's showing that no matter how obvious it is, Anakin sees it and he acknowledges it and he
Right.
ignores it completely.
Right.
You know, I mean, that's the thing is like just like people feel really bad for Anakin,
I guess it
but
does.
a lot of way down the road, he knew what was happening.
I guess
and
it
he allowed
also
to happen.
helps
Well,
with
isn't
planting this-
Anakin's main focus then? Isn't he just worried about say,
Padme.
And
Yeah.
so
And it also kind of is planting the seed, too, of, like, Palpatine, who's, like, this mentor to him, who's very, very old, and has, like, seen things, essentially, is, like, told Anakin, like, hey, have you ever heard about this? And then it helps allude to the point where, like, Anakin says to him, after they deny him to go get Grievous, and he goes to Palpatine, and he says the line of, like, I know there's things about the Force they're not telling me.
Mhm.
And Palpatine's like, yeah, they don't trust you. And he's, like, further manipulating him. It does set that up, but...
is that also when it sets up the whole, like, when he talks about Plagueis, how there's, like, the theory that Plagueis made Anakin or
Yes. Oh, yeah.
He the line he says is he had such a vast knowledge of the Force that he could influence the midichlorians to create life. And
As he turns and looks
at him as he's saying it, and he's like kind of like got this look on his face of like you, he made you. And it's
Yeah.
like, you know.
And in the novelization, he talks about almost like how intoxicating it is to be able to like it
Yeah.
really sounds like it's intoxicating to him talking about that and how like he's Plagueis's son
Yeah.
basically.
Yeah, that book's cool too, because like even early on, it's like Plagueis gets in these fights and he'll get hit by a blaster, and then the book goes into the detail of saying like, oh, now he has to shift some focus of the Force to stop his wound from him bleeding out and like this shit, and it's pretty cool. It's not canon anymore apparently, but still a good read.
They're working on it though.
Yeah,
Because the canon that novel is actually how the name Sheev was created, and they've taken that, and that's his actual name in canon. So.
yeah. But I don't like this list here.
Oh God, no.
Yeah, no, Revenge of the Sith definitely should be on there. I don't care what
Should
anybody
definitely
says.
be on there.
Top three.
I will say
I'll say I might honestly, it might be in my top 3. I have just extreme nostalgia for that movie. I will never forget going to the midnight premiere of that in like 8th grade, and
Yeah.
just everybody in the parking lot dressed up, lightsaber battles, just like absolutely packed to the brim. Just the energy, just it was. I'll never forget that night, and I think the movie kind of lived up. I absolutely adore that fight at the end. It's nasty. Even though there is a mishap. There's a little continuity error in a way. There's like one point where they're like straggled together, like when he bends Anakin over backwards.
Yes.
Anakin's holding the wrong lightsaber.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've seen that breakdown.
I have seen that too. Yeah, I've seen that.
I will say for myself though, it's kind of hard to intermingle and rate everything, all content across everything all together. It's like I mean, movies I can kind of give you an order.
Yeah, and,
but
and it's all personal preference too.
Throw series and stuff in there. That's when I feel like it gets to be personal preference. Yeah, it's like okay, well,
I'd say like for me, I would, as far as like quality, I feel like I would almost have to have Andor potentially in the top 3. It's knocking on the door for 3, but I would understand that not everybody would have Andor that high. But for me, Revenge of the Sith probably in the top 3, and Empire is obviously in the top 3. So I don't know who. I don't know what exact project would get that 3rd spot.
It would be so hard.
I guess out of everything, I don't know. It's tough.
We talk about the stuff that I rewatch the most. I mean, Revenge of the Sith, boy. I watch that all the time.
I was gonna say I watch that one all the time. Yeah. I rewatch that one the most, and like I said, it's the anymore like. On May 4th, if that lands during a weekday, it's like I get home from work and then probably the gym after work, and I've got time for one movie to watch. I'm like, well, I'm going to watch Revenge of the Sith.
Yeah.
So I occasionally, I kind of have a soft spot for Phantom Menace too, but it's mainly just that fight at the end. Like there are just certain like moments in that fight that are just so... Well, that just fight satisfying to me. Like, there's one part where
it's
even just
the
noises where it's like, I don't know.
It's still so I would say that fight is still the best choreographed fight in the entire franchise.
Like, I love the moment where Obi does like the double block, like behind the back, and then forward real quick, and then there's the part where like Maul does like the like real quick, and it's just also, the noise it makes.
I like when he
so many satisfying moments in that fight.
Yeah, that was Ray Park, wasn't it? Was that Ray?
Yeah,
Ray
Park.
Ray Park, and then Peter
didn't get enough love.
No.
Well, and Peter Serafinowicz is the one that voiced him too, so it's like he only got to do the sword fighting aspect of that because Serafinowicz did the voicing for him.
I think with Phantom Menace, it's just nostalgia too, because it's like when we were kids, and it was like Dad showed us these old movies that like were awesome, and then like now this new trilogy is coming out, and like so this is a modern Star Wars you're seeing, and like that was the thing is like it got to this fight with lightsabers, and it was just mind blowing.
Oh no, it was like in
that I believe that whole last 20-30 minute stretch of that movie is what saves it, because it's like
for sure,
because like the first hour and a half or whatever of it is like you're the whole time you're just like, what is all this shit about politics and midichlorians, and then like we had a NASCAR race, and it's like, what the hell is going on?
Well, we were probably the perfect age.
And Jar Jar sucks.
When Phantom Menace came out, because I remember as a kid after watching the movie, I had a blast.
Yeah.
I liked the pod racing, but I was like, you were probably like, what, 8?
Yeah.
I think as a kid, like, that movie's great because that movie was definitely, like, that was great for the kids. But, like, I remember my dad was like, that movie sucked.
To his credit, though, that's what Lucas was going for. He was trying to go for kids and families, so...
Yeah, he was trying to target...
It worked on me as a kid. I was going to say, I really liked the movie.
It targeted our generation, and...
I just remember being upset as a kid that they killed Maul already. Like, he was my favorite character in that movie, and then I was like, what?
They fix it.
I thought he was going to be our Vader.
Yeah.
And nope.
They fix it. Once you get back into the animated stuff, you'll find out a lot about Maul.
I just want to see him in live action again. Just give me my boy.
You might. There might be a possibility.
We were supposed to have it, but that all
Yeah.
got tanked.
That's true.
So yeah.
Solo.
It's
movie.
my own fault for not supporting that movie, but it was about Han Solo, and I just honestly, I know unpopular opinion. I don't give a. Don't
I
care
give a fuck.
about
I
Han
give a
Solo.
I give a rat's ass about Han Solo, but what I didn't give a rat's ass about is the Kessel Run, and it's like, again, that's my complaint about that movie is the movie is about the Kessel Run, and it's like you should have made it about something else.
I guess that's another thing apart too. Like, I probably would have went and saw it if the trailer actually would have just sold me, but just the trailer itself didn't even seem all that interesting. Just
I had fun.
Why do I want to see this?
I just went and saw because it was a Star Wars movie.
I had fun, dude. I like it, and I watch it again. You know, I mean, I also watch it from time to time. I don't mind it. I wasn't as critical on it as a lot of people were.
Yeah.
You know, I think there was for this. Sometimes Star Wars movies are what they are, and it was a moment in time that we already knew happened. We didn't know anything about it unless you read novelizations, but it was fun. I mean, that's really all it was. I mean, it should have. We should have had another chance to build upon that story. As I think that was taken from us because it didn't do well. But I think that there was a possibility that could have led into something really solid with Crimson Dawn and all that stuff. But
I do think Childish Gambino as Lando is great casting.
absolutely.
Well, and he's apparently coming back for more. So
Sweet.
like
Okay.
that was
I'd
the
say
one.
that was the one casting. When
That
they
was the
originally
one
announced it, I was
saving
like, oh,
grace
that's
of
perfect.
that. Yeah, and he's actually a great part of the movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I like the like Kira and the underground type of thing, and her development into someone evil, and is
Yeah.
trained in hand-to-hand combat, and
And apparently
takes out
the
what's his nuts.
comic books have really adapted her, and
Yep.
like you can get a lot of good content from reading the comics for her character. And I think at one point, like she even fights Vader.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Like there's points where, I'm guilty of it because I haven't really kept up on like the Marvel releases of the new, and the Dark Horse new releases for all the comics recently.
Mhm.
I've kind of fallen off, and I have a lot of catching up to do. But yeah, there's quite a bit of new content that I don't think even I'm guilty of not really digging into. That makes a lot of the other live releases and live action stuff make more sense.
Yeah.
So I think I need to dig back into that a little bit, and I wish there was an easier subscription service for like Dark Horse and all that stuff. Like they send you
I
the
don't
comics.
know. I don't know if comicology is still a thing or not.
Comixology is not a thing anymore. I was actually looking into this because like we've always talked about how like I have the DC Infinite subscription.
That's the only one I have too. So
Which that's $8 a month. So Marvel's now is I think it's called Marvel Universe. Because Comixology I think is ceasing, and then Marvel had a different app, but now it's going to just be like all on this one thing called, I think it's called Marvel Ultimate or something, and I think it's about the same price as Infinite, or it might be a little cheaper. It might just be $5 a month. But you can subscribe to that and get access to like they said like over 30,000 comics or something. So
yeah,
you can
I think usually
you can
they
definitely check that out.
I think
Yeah.
the only downside to it, which is a good downside in my opinion, is I think you're always like 3 months behind.
That's the
But that's the incentive
so-
for you to go to the comic shop,
yeah.
That's
which is
good, though.
which is great.
That's good though.
And
yeah.
for DC
great.
and for DC Infinite, that's the incentive to either go to the comic shop or you pay for like the higher tiered membership. That's like pretty.
It's pretty pricey, but you do get
pricey.
you get some pretty cool perks though when you actually do shell out for it. But
Yeah.
you get a lot of exclusive stuff.
And I still think that I think though, even with the best tier, for at least with DC, I think even with the best tiered membership, I think you still like the brand new comics are still like a month delay.
I think
because
think
they
it's still a
still
month,
like he's saying they still want the
Physical
incentive for
copy.
like, hey, if you're impatient, you got to read it right when it drops. Like, well, you have to go into the comic shops and get the paper copy, which is good because
awesome.
that's
comic
not,
shops would die if they.
well, I was gonna say, that's an industry and like our economy that like they're just looking out for those people. So
which
that's
is awesome.
This was kind of the problem that when they originally moved over to this that they didn't do. Like now they're treating the service as what it should be. It should be a bridge service. It should be something to get people into comics to kind
Yeah.
of get their foot into it, and then when they find a series that
Yeah.
they like, that gets them into the
All
step
right.
into the comic shop.
So, like, I
Yeah.
went to the comic shop that's literally like a 2-minute walk down from where my office at work is. I mean, it's
Oh,
right
that's
there
nice.
in the same. Yeah, it's right there in all the same area. So, case in point, like, I want to get into reading like Captain Marvel, the current Captain Marvel comic line from Marvel. Well, the comic shop obviously doesn't have like all 48 issues that have been out in the current series run. So, what can I do? Well, I can go get a membership to the app, read up to a certain point digitally, and then I can go in the comic shop and say, like, hey, do you have the one from last month or the last latest issue release? And then from there, I could, like, if I really passionately cared to just constantly stay on top of it, then I could care to walk into the shop every month or so and drop, 20, 30, 40, $50, whatever.
Not hard.
Yeah, and that's
Not hard.
yeah, yeah, dude. That's
I was thinking about it, and I was like, the problem is like the storage for all of it.
Oh,
Like,
tell me about it.
yeah.
I'm gonna have to go.
My house is not that big, guys.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
I'm gonna
no,
have to go
it's,
talk to Zeke and see if I can get like a pull list see if he can get his hands on like the newer release Star Wars ones that I can just go and pick
Oh,
up.
he-
every
well, he
mean,
might already be having.
Yeah,
he
he
just might not know. I
well,
mean,
well, that's true because I
that's
only
the
go in
thing,
and usually
it's
check
like,
the
I'm
shelves
sure-
and shit, So
like I'm sure that he orders and has people that are.
that's what keeps him
wanting
in
them.
business. I mean
Yeah.
that consistent money, that consistent flow and purchase of those comics. But yeah, I'm gonna have to get into that because I mean I think I was just looking at all the wrong places to try to get that subscription service down because there's a lot of them out there and they're pretty sketchy. Most
I
of
would
them.
I would just use the straight from the source app. So
Yeah.
like again, DC Infinite, and for Marvel, I believe it's Marvel Universe. Let me just look real quick.
Did you
So
want me
it's
to-
either that or Marvel Unlimited. I can't remember.
Oh, it might be Marvel Unlimited.
And do we want to touch on anything Star Wars Survivor, or do we want to wait until you guys get your hands on it?
It is Marvel Unlimited.
Okay. I mean, if you have anything to say about it, I mean.
Well, I won't spoil it for anybody, you guys included. But I finished the story campaign mode for Survivor, Jedi Survivor, with Cal Kestis, of course. Where they go with it, it's actually kind of interesting because really it's the true rebirth of a Jedi Order. I don't know if I'm saying a Jedi Order.
I don't know if
It's not the Jedi Order, but it is a Jedi Order. It's got the seeds are definitely there.
Yeah.
And there's a place that the Empire can't get to. So they're basically safe from the influence of the Empire. So now when I think about that and I think about the timing of this and how old Cal Kestis is during this whole escapade that he goes on in this game, it would make a whole lot of sense, especially with the principles that he puts forth in the game, like his understanding of what it is to be a Jedi and how it's altered and updated. Because he does have a love interest in the game. Very openly, very blatantly.
Yeah.
Attachment is not a thing anymore. Like, no attachments is not a thing.
Right.
So, which I think is actually kind of poetic in a sense, because attachment and the fear of attachment is what brought the Jedi down in the first place.
Yeah.
And now it seems to be the attachment is what's bringing the Jedi closer together and actually bringing them back into relevance.
Well, the
again.
attachment thing too is like how it's showing you how being a complete like monk with no emotion to anyone or no attachment to anyone,
Mm-hmm.
like you're compassionate towards all that crap. Like it's kind of the recurring theme with those characters in Star Wars. I mean, you saw it with Anakin.
Obi-Wan.
Definitely, you have it with Obi-Wan, and you have it with Luke. You have it with Calvin, and
With Cal, and you got it, and you have it with Kanan Jarrus.
yes, you have it with Kanan. You have
And
it with
then-
Ezra.
Yep. And so
I'd
now,
say really the only one you probably don't have it with is Ahsoka,
Yeah.
except when it relates to Anakin. But then eventually that doesn't matter.
and to that sense,
Yeah.
she's not a Jedi. But it's like and that's the thing too.
right.
And that's the last bit of old Jedi left,
Yeah.
really. You know, I
And
mean,
even though the movie is, in my opinion, not anything worth watching, but that point then is even the point's even further made in Last Jedi when like the ghost of Yoda says to Luke, like, it all needs to change.
yeah,
Like we were
we were
all wrong.
We were wrong.
It needs to change.
Yep.
Like
Yeah, and that's why people are saying now that they're thinking that Ezra, that the Mandoverse movie
Mhm.
is going to be an Ezra trains Grogu, because Grogu rejected Luke's Jedi Order because it forbade attachments,
Right.
which he wanted. So now we have Ezra, Cal Kestis,
Yeah.
and all this slew of characters,
Yeah.
Ray included,
Yeah.
that new Jedi Order, they very much so
Yeah.
endorse those attachments. And
Yeah.
and I mean, and dude, I'm thinking the place, and I'm really biting my tongue because now that I've played the game, it's just common knowledge in my head. But the place they go, it's completely cut off from the Empire, and it's like a planet that's imbued with, like, it's like a Force Nexus planet, and
Mhm.
and they're trying to get to this place to start new and bring all the, and it's like the hidden path, what they always talk about in Kenobi, the hidden path, the hidden path. This is the destination. The destination. That's what Survivor's about. It's just telling you about the destination of where they're trying to get to.
Mhm.
So, is Cal Kestis Grand Master right now, just running stuff from that place at this point in the movie? I mean, because who knows? I mean, if this Force Nexus, how, depending on how it treats time and treats aging,
Yeah.
we could see, what is his name? Cameron Montague, Montague, the guy that plays in Shameless, that plays Cal Kestis.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah, we could see him at the age that he was in the game in a live action movie, and it could make sense.
Mhm.
Easy.
I hope so.
Yeah, I mean, he did already kind of come out and say that, currently the medium of the video game is so, the potential's too high there for him to step out of it with where they're currently going.
Yeah.
But I think that's just a ruse. I think that they're fully planning to have him in there. There's no reason why they would have had him come in and do the voice acting and have his actual face on the character you're playing without the plans to bring him into the live action medium. But dude, if that's the case, there was Luke Skywalker. Now there's Cal Kestis. This is a bad mother. Dude, I'm telling you. I'm sign me up. I'm a Cal Kestis fan. I'm a fanboy.
So go play the game.
Go play the game if you want to know more about where I think things are going. It is fantastic.
Now I have a choice to make when I get home. Do I want to read comics or do I want to pay $15.99 and try?
I was telling him how
It's
like,
worth that
that's-
$15.99. I'll
That's
tell you
where
that.
I'm at, is like, because he asked me if I've played it, and I'm like, no, I still need to do that thing. But I'm like, I don't know.
It's worth every penny. I paid $100 for it, and but I'm glad I did. I don't. It doesn't matter to me. I got the pre-release. I got all the extra stuff to start with. That stuff alone worth it, and I can play it whenever the hell I want. Shit, I was playing it last night. I beat it 2 days ago. Last night I played it for like 6 hours just doing side stuff, and it was just as fun as the main storyline.
Yeah.
So
It looks awesome.
Yeah.
I say when we came over here, you were playing it a little bit, and I was like, yeah,
Yeah.
this
Looked
pretty
fun.
hot.
It looks fun.
Yeah.
It looks fun.
it's fucking sweet. I'd highly recommend, and obviously if you plan on keeping up with the future of Star Wars and where it's going, gotta have it. You gotta have it. You gotta have that info.
I think that wraps up this week, doesn't it?
That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you
Interesting
guys.
report. I don't know if you guys saw it. So since they upped their whole subscription package, added ads, did you guys see that Disney Plus is down 4 million subscribers from the prior quarter?
Not surprised.
Just because they added the ad tier?
Probably. And then up the
Oh.
price. I mean, that
Oh, yeah, they upped the
effectively
price,
ups the price because you were used to no ads, so now
Mhm.
you've got a no ad bundle.
That's where they screwed up.
I think they just screwed up with
They shouldn't have done it that way. You basically screwed over your long-time subscribers that way.
Should have just raised the price. I would have been much more happy with a raised price than I would be with tiered systems of, oh, it's more money with ads. Oh, and it's even more money without ads.
Yeah, that's where they screwed up, and it was dumb.
Should have taken an ode to Netflix and raised it by $1 every week for
I don't think I would have minded a slight price raise, especially because like now, like they're pumping out content on there a lot more quicker than when it initially launched. When it initially launched, you kind of had like there's like one new show to watch, and I think that was Mandalorian, or maybe it was WandaVision. I can't remember. I think it was WandaVision.
That was first.
That was really the first, and it was like, okay, then you got a lull, and it's like, okay, the only other thing on here is a bunch of old kids movies I watched when I was a kid, and
it was nostalgic for a second.
Yeah, there's some nostalgia stuff for a second, but at this point, there's enough library on there, and there's also enough like shows that they're making out on it that I think it's kind of worth having now. But yeah, the price hike definitely saw, pretty decent chunk of people go. Now they still have like, I think it said like 158 million subscribers, so it's like, okay, in the grand scheme, they
dropping
lost,
the pond.
Yeah, they lost what, half of, or whatever percentage that is, very, very small. So, but
you'll expect that.
Still
it sounds worse than what it actually is.
4 million subs though.
Yeah.
Times that 515, or how much is theirs?
We'll take those subs.
8.
What?
How much is Disney Plus?
Well, I guess the ad tier is like what, $6 or $7,
something like that.
I mean, yeah, you're right. That's still like a nice chunk of change.
Millions. That's rough. Yikes, because they've already been hemorrhaging money through Disney Plus anyway. They've already been losing money, so that's not good.
Well, that's why they have the raised price. That's why they needed the ad tier, because they're like, well, shit, now we have to have advertisers pay us to be on here because we're friggin' hemorrhaging money on this thing.
Yeah.
They ain't gonna take it away.
Only a matter of time. Yeah, it was only a matter of time. I figured. I was halfway surprised that they didn't offer that from the jump.
Streaming services, like, to truly be ad free, like, they can't just have it that way anymore. Yeah. I mean, it's just not. It's not sustainable because people get burnt out, they stop watching, and enough do to where you're just like, well, shit.
Yeah.
It's probably expensive to maintain those servers, too, for all that content.
Yeah. I mean, those things are, even when they launch those, they know they're not going to be profitable for at least...
Yeah, it's just like any new business
5-6 years. Like it's a long game. Streaming service. So
the business curve, man.
And eventually, there's probably only going to be like 2, maybe 3 standing in the end.
Probably.
Once it's all said and done. Because eventually they'll all just eat each other up.
We're going to be back. We're just going to be old, just watching cable again. God, you guys remember, like, when we streamed everything?
Yeah.
That was a weird time.
That was a weird 20 years of my life, man.
Either that or it's going to be the South Park. Everything is going to be like, oh, it's Hulu, Netflix, Disney Plus Max.
Oh, yeah. Yes.
Like, everything is going to be all one service.
Yeah, say how they're making fun of how, like, really, like... this one parent owns all this other shit, and they've just decided in the end, like, yeah, I'm going to combine it all together.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
No, I wanted to get that in there after you got done with Star Wars, so I was like, well, Disney owns both, so.
Yeah, it's true.
I was well wait to get that one in there, but yeah, I think that's everything.
That should be it.
So yeah, thank you guys so much for tuning in. Please, if you did like this video, please give us a like. You have no idea how much that helps us in the algorithm. Of course, if you are new here and you haven't subbed, if you ever want to get notifications when we post a new video, go ahead and sub and ring that bell icon. And if you would like a audio-only version of the podcast, you can find us on Spotify and Podbean.
Spotify and Podbean. We actually had some downloads over there on Podbean, so some people apparently use it.
Let's go. Podbean popping
Yeah,
off.
yeah, let's go.
We appreciate you guys for the downloads.
Yeah.
We will see you guys next week. Until next time, I'm your boy, J Sib.
And I'm KP.
And it's your boy, the Bull.
See ya later.
Yeah.